I'm not in any way attempting to be sacrilegious, but I simply, through common colloquial, want to bring clarity to the context of the text that I have to unpack through this pericope found in Romans chapter 7, verses 18 through 23. And in order to bring context to the text through common colloquial, it is incumbent upon me, in the words of the complex and controversial, prodigious hip-hop virtuoso Kanye West, who on his project Late Registration, track 11, y'all don't have the joint, I have it. Kanye West posed some provocative questions that seem to echo the sentiments of Paul in Romans 7, verses 18 through 23. Here is what Kanye said on track 11 of his project Late Registration. Kanye said, "Why everything's supposed to be bad makes me feel so good. Everything they tell me not to is exactly what I would. Man, I tried to stop now. I tried the best I could." Then he says, "What's your addiction? Is it money? Is it girls? Is it weed? I've been afflicted by not one, not two, not three. And just in case Kanye is too urban for you, must I submit to you the prolific writings of St. Augustine of Hippo, who wrote his autobiography concerning his conversion between AD 397 and 398 in his book called The Confession. St. Augustine of Hippo said this: God creates man for good, but man misguides what God gives him when he has no restraint imposed on himself by the exchange of his mind with God's mind. St. Augustine of Hippo, must I recapitulate, in his book, The Confession, which chronicles his conversion between AD 397 and AD 398, said that God created man for good, but man misguides, not the devil, not the enemy, not your external influences. Man misguides what God gives him when he has no restraint imposed on himself by being willing to exchange his mind with God's mind. It was written of Moses in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 25. It says he chose to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season. One thing that sin does, if you'll allow me to parenthetically park for just about 90 seconds, sin will allow you to engage the full pleasure, but always leave you in the red when it comes to making full payment. Sin will always take you to a place where it'll give you more than you thought you wanted, leave you longer than you plan to stay, but then ultimately cost you more than you plan to pay. Now, the nuance of sin is sin always starts with a legitimate desire that breeds illegitimate response that then leaves you in an illegal place.